Hello everybody, it's been a couple of months. I just wanted to give a quick channel update and talk about my experience gaining 10 AWS certifications and what it's done for me and whether I'd recommend it. So first things first, let's talk about the certifications because I'm sure that's what you've all come here for. So there's 12 AWS certifications available and I have got all 10 of them, or I've got 10 out of those 12. So all of them except for the data analytics specialty and networking specialty, which I'm currently working towards. And I just want to give my thoughts on whether they have helped progress my career, whether I felt like what I learned was useful, and so on. So in terms of the ones that I've gained since the last video I made, so I did a video on DevOps Pro. In the meantime, I've got the Alexa Skill Builder specialty and as also the database specialty. So I'll make videos separately on those to talk about them, but just talking more in general about the 10 AWS certifications and has that helped? In terms of the content I've learned, massively. It's really taken me from, I'd say I was pretty intermediate with AWS, especially after the associate level certification. So it's been about 1.5 years since I did those. I felt like I knew my way around the console, knew my way around the command line, could do things. I could make S3 buckets and EC2s and whatever. But I never really felt like I understood how it worked behind the scenes. Or any of the really advanced features or any of the architectural decisions, like when would use SQS versus SNS versus step functions versus all these other things. Like these were services I'd maybe heard of briefly, but I didn't really understand them. And some of the other fundamental things like VPCs, I knew how to put them together, but I didn't really know how each of the components related to like a traditional data center. So yeah, getting the professional certification has made a huge difference. Following Adrian Cantor's course goes beyond just the content necessary to pass the exam and also just teaches you the fundamentals. So from a learning perspective, undoubtedly it's been super worthwhile. Coming from a software engineering background, I'm very glad I sort of went into the cloud. From a sort of career development perspective, I've also found it useful, but indirectly. I haven't so much, I'm not really on the hunt for work at the moment. I've been pretty happy staying with where I am, but it has helped me sort of negotiate some additional benefits within my job, and that comes from ability to execute, not necessarily just from the certifications themselves. I think potentially if I was looking for new work, definitely gets your foot in the door, saying I've got SA Pro, I've got DevOps Pro, or even networking specialty, whatever. Depends on the job, obviously, but yeah, certifications are viewed pretty highly, I think, in the hiring process. When you're already there, it's about what can you do, and I went from, like I said, probably intermediate, associate level solutions architecture and cloud engineering, to being I'm pretty confident with my skills. I'd say everyone's got a long way to go, and I still have a long way to go before I'm an expert, but it's definitely fast-tracked that development massively. So to that extent, I love learning and I love being good at what I do and getting better at what I do. So for that reason, I found super beneficial. But yeah, so it really comes down to, for me, it was about my ability to sort of take on a project that was lots of cloud involved and build it. And to understand what architectural decisions need to be made, evaluate trade-offs of different services, and then implement. So I had a much easier time doing that, having gone learning for these certifications, than I would have if I hadn't, and especially coming from the focus being on learning rather than on just getting the certifications without, just by cramming or without actually trying to learn. So yeah, my emphasis has always been on understanding as best as possible and focusing on fundamentals first and building up from there. To that extent, it's been super helpful. So yeah, 10 AWS certifications. Sometimes feels crazy to say that. I post on LinkedIn and all these people go, man, you're an absolute machine. Honestly, I think it's really just hard work over a long time. I got the 6 of these have been in the past 6 months. Previously to that, it was the 4 being the associate level and practitioner, was over a period of 2 months, 1.5 years ago. But the 6 in the past 6 months has just been a matter of focused, ongoing effort. It's like a marathon, not a sprint. It's really been about how much can I devote obviously still doing my full-time work at the same time. How much time can I devote to this? That's in part as well why I haven't been focusing on YouTube as much, because I've really wanted to focus on like learn first, teach later, and I feel like I have to learn myself first before I can really honestly say to myself that I'm teaching you guys and making the right choices about what resources would I use, or like how would I do this. I wanted to say as well, channel update. So it has been a couple of months since I posted. The reason I explained before, I've been focusing on learning. I've been focusing on finishing on my work for the year as well. Obviously there's Christmas rush, can we get this deployed sort of thing. That was one of my 3 goals. So I had 3 goals set for the end of 2020, and they were, number 1 was 12 AWS certifications, which didn't quite get there. I didn't want to rush analytics or networking just because they're very in-depth certifications. I didn't want to just get the cert even if I would have barely passed. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do it properly and learn properly. And the second thing was getting the work I was working on. I was working on this project called Helipad, and getting that deployed to production. So I sort of got there. We got it deployed to like the development environment. It was like multiple stages sort of thing. I didn't quite get to prod. So that's my focus for like January and February. And then the third one is completely unrelated, although everything connects together, of course. And this was to run a 25-minute 5K, so 5,000 meters, 5 kilometers in 25 minutes. Running's been something that I've kind of got back into over the past 6 months or so, especially when I was locked down in like August, September. And I went from running a 34-minute 5K to a 27.5-minute 5K. So I'm really happy with that progress. I wanted to get down to 25 by Christmas, and then I kind of just stopped running. So it's my fault completely. Something I want to get back into for sure, and get down to that 25 minutes. But for the moment, I've focusing on some other things. Still trying to run, gym, bit of exercise to keep myself going. But not super focusing on that at the moment. So those are my 3 goals. The other thing that I wanted to talk about as well was I've sort of put YouTube off for a bit because I want to focus, not spread myself too thin. Whereas now I have a bit more time, so I've got some time off till like mid to end of January. So I'll be focusing on YouTube a bit more, and hopefully making more videos. I'd love to be putting out a video every day, but I don't really think that's going to happen. I will be making videos on the Alexa Skill Builder specialty and on database specialty, and potentially about some other things that I've been training towards, working on. And I would really like to do some interview style videos with various people in my network, whether it's about cloud certifications or software engineering or internships, full stack developer, just having a chat and seeing what they're working on, that kind of thing. So if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know in the comments, or let me know really at all, like if there's something that you think I can provide that would be of value to you in the form of video content. I'm really open to suggestions there. Otherwise, I'll just sort of keep going with the way I am, talking about cloud certifications, other certifications, where I'm at, what I'm building, what I'm doing, and so on. Hopefully, this is all really inspiring to you guys. That's kind of my goal. But yeah, it's really just about like where I'm at and what I'm working on. A final note, just channel update as well. Obviously, you guys can see this 338 subscribers as the most recent thing most recently that I checked it, which to me is crazy. To a lot of people, it's nothing. Like plenty of channels have 1 million or 500,000 subscribers, even tech channels. But this is really awesome to me. I love having this audience, and I feel like I have a duty of care to you guys to be providing like insightful, interesting content that you can devour. And I feel like every time I'm talking to the camera, I'm just talking to a camera in my room right now, but it feels like there's 300 people behind that who could potentially be watching this video. So I try and stay on topic, be useful, and provide value to you guys. So once again, if you have any suggestions of something you'd like to see me cover, just be sure let me know in the comments. So that's my thoughts on 10 AWS certifications, what it's done for me, what I've learned, and I'm having a pretty good time at the moment in terms of career growth and so on, and feeling like I'm really learning a lot and being able to work on projects that are really interesting. So really grateful for that, and really grateful as well for the platform that I've sort of been given in terms of people following this and watching these videos and hopefully gaining something from them. So yeah, thank you everybody who is part of this journey with me, and I will see you in the next video.